Social class is a feature which affects the teachers to be using effective practices in the classroom. Teachers with higher levels of academic education or training are less likely to use the effective practices, although they have higher levels of academic qualification and they also have training certification, yet they try not to use those practices because probably they keep the two things separate from one another. They think that academic qualification and the training certification is one thing, and then working in the class is totally different. And since they do not have an experience of using those effective practices in the classroom, they do not come to know what are the benefits of using those practices. Access to schooling is to some degree a reflection of the social class of the teacher. So, because these teachers have gone to better schools or they have better educational systems through which they have gone in their lives, this acknowledges or recognizes or identifies their social class. So, because they are so confident that they have already been in a good school or a good college or a good university, they avoid using any teaching practices that they have learned themselves. That is very natural because until and unless these practices are really done in the class and the results of those practices becomes familiar to the teacher, till that the teacher does not use the effective practices in the school because she is overconfident that she knows what a good classroom teaching is. The analysis of study done in this respect suggests that persons from the higher social class do less well as teachers. This might occur if teaching was seen as an inferior occupation, something that persons had to do when nothing else was available. So, as said earlier, these teachers, they belong to good families and the family background is educated and they have had a chance to go to good schools and good institutions, and so they become overconfident that they know everything about it. And then also the perception of teaching being an inferior job, they think because they are high up in their levels, they can do teaching because it is something very simple. It is inferior. Anybody can go for teaching and it is available for anyone even without a certification. So that is why, because it is considered and perceived as something everybody can do, so that becomes inferior. The fact is that any job needs specification, whether it is a menial job or it is a high level job. All jobs, they need training and all jobs need certification. And only then that profession will be done fairly and with good treatment. So, because it is considered that teaching is an inferior occupation, anybody can go with it. Therefore, people from higher social class take it to be something very inferior, and it is just like that that they can do it because they have themselves have been to good schools and good institutions. Persons with this perspective would be less motivated to carry out the responsibilities of their positions because in their minds they have a feeling that what they are doing is something very low and they are high above that level because of their qualification, because of their social class, because of the training certification. They know much more. Therefore, they do not need to apply those practices in the class because teaching is a low job, it is inferior, it is so easy to do it, and there are no skills needed. So that is why it is unfortunate that all the studies, they reveal that some people who have this perspective, especially those belonging to higher social class, do not do justice when they become teachers and they do not apply all those practices in the classroom, considering that they know everything and that is teaching what they know. They do not require to apply any teaching practices in the classroom, and that is why they are called that they are not using any expertise in their profession because they have a perspective that teaching is an inferior job.